There we go. All right, welcome everyone to the first draw of La Curla Nostra, our season opening Bonspiel, in-house Bonspiel here at Nutmeg Curling Club. Our first broadcast since March 2020. So we have 10 teams of Nutmeg Curlers competing today. It's a one game spiel for everyone, point spiel. And the top two teams after our two draws, one now and one at 2 o'clock, or 2 o'clock this afternoon, will compete for the title at 4:30 in our final draw. So, bear with me for a minute or two here, playing around with the audio a bit, and then we'll get to some commentary on one of these games. All right. All right. All right, let's switch to our feature sheet view. I'm going to throw it on sheet C. You'll still be able to see everything on all three sheets there on your left, and both houses of sheet C. And on sheet C, we have the Walker family playing against the Owens family. I actually have it on my phone. I don't know why I'm looking at it. So playing with Jill Owens um, on the team throwing the Red Rocks, we have Rick Moore at Vice. We have Lori Caldwell playing second, and Kevin Caldwell throwing lead. They're facing off against, here with the Yellow Rocks, Brian Walker, who is playing with Brian Glatzel at Vice, Noah Gordon at second, and Laura Bennett throwing lead. On the other two sheets you can see out there, all the way on the left on sheet A, Alf Winter playing with Brian Tully and Stephen Dulski is taking on Bill Walsh with Larry Beccari and Andy Boone. And then on sheet B in the middle, we have Nigel Lucas playing with Ilya Biancardi and Heidi Biancardi with Thomas Lucas against Mark Zakin, teamed up with Paul Douglas, Cindy Mianzilia, and Sean Hogan. I have been handed a list of amazing nicknames for all the players, and we'll definitely be using those at some point today. So as I'm catching up here with the action on sheet C, looks like yellow has the hammer, but red in control of the house right now. And we'll catch up for the second half of the end here. Oh, a yellow takeout does push a red rock undercover. Good chance of a steal here for red now. What's not? Oh. Yeah. All right, we have a request to turn the cameras on. I can probably do that. Just need the Vizio remote here. Hopefully nobody's listening. Oh, excuse me, I'm just gonna slip through here. Make sure they're on the ice too as we head out there. Yeah, just throw the on ice ones on if they're not on. They might have gone on when I flicked them on in here, but hard to say. All right, we have Brian Bananas Glatzel here up for his first shot. A little work to do. Red set up pretty well for a steal here with all those center guards and one undercover. Looks like Brian's trying to come around everything. Might be a touch heavy. Everyone getting their feel for the ice this early in the season, especially after a year and a half off. That leaves Red in good position here. As we're running out of the rocks, we have Rick Moore, Rick the Adjuster Moore, throwing vice rocks here for Jill Owens, and looking to put a clamp down on this end a little bit. Make it real tough on Brian Walker's team with the Yellowstones to get anything out of this end, especially with only 3 rocks remaining, and really shrinking opportunities to draw in to the 8-foot here, although there will be a chance for one unless red improves. Looks like Rick's rock also going heavy, might just slide out. Nope, hangs on in the back 12. Ice is surprisingly fast for early in the season. A little straight as you'd expect right after the ice install, but very good speed. At least that's what we've seen in practice over the last week. We'll have to see how that plays out today on the ice during our first event. All right, Brian Glatzel's second rock coming in, still trying to draw in behind those reds. A little heavy again, might have the backing of this back red. We should tap it out here. And yep, taps it back, not out, but good enough to sit what looks to be second shot by our view here. Probably enough to prevent a big steal, although Jill looks like she's looking at throwing maybe just hack weight, trying to get to the inside of that yellow and rolling underneath, which would really give red the opportunity for a big steal potentially here. Force Brian Walker to make a shot to save the end. As you can see on the lower left there, we have rocks coming in on all 3 sheets. We do a quick look at the houses as we're waiting here. Over on sheet B, looks like red, which is the Lucas family, led by Nigel the Brit Lucas, sitting at least 3 here in the early going. while we're on Vice Rocks. And we might see a nice little hit and roll here, though. Oh, beautiful shot to put Mark the Mouthpiece Zakin back in control of that end, sitting 1. If we go on all right, here on C, Jill the Kid Owens has her first shot coming down, might be a little wide, and just taps that yellow in a little further. Not enough to make a count. Red still counting underneath the center guards. So really no change there. Nothing. It'll be a little hard to get rid of that yellow now. It's probably just about not stuck where it is, but to tap that yellow back, you're probably losing that back red now anyway. Probably jamming the yellow. Probably not worth going after anymore. But yellow still with the hammer here. 2 rocks remaining for Brian the Sweater Walker, looking to slip one in here, score with the hammer. He's going to basically have 2 shots to draw, most likely. He's actually throwing the Ed Simia stone right now, my namesake stone. I just noticed that because it's right in front of me here on sheet C. Yellow 7. Hopefully it gives him some good luck. All right. Coming down to last rocks on sheet C. First, it will be Jill Owens throwing. Looking to put something up in top 8, top 12. Shorter better than heavy. Just make this draw harder for Brian on his last one. Try to lock in this steal of 1. If you happen to count and just barely sit 2, that's fine. Don't think that's the primary goal here, though. Rock coming down. Weight is pretty nice. A little bit outside. So now they're trying to bring it. Okay. Didn't quite bring it, but it does make that path for the draw just a little bit narrower. Certainly doesn't hurt. But Brian does still have a path there, a couple feet of room to slip a rock in and score his 1. Okay, Brian Walker preparing to throw his final rock. Rock is away. As you can see Brian sliding there. It's all a matter of weight now. The sweepers are on it. Maybe playing to get the tick. Nope, now they're looking at the straight draw. And will he land on the back one? I think he's losing. Oh, he may have just... I don't believe that affected the outcome. In fact, it definitely didn't, because the shot rock, the rock he threw, I should say, definitely held on to sit second. So looks like he was actually looking to play the in-off of that red that Jill Owens had just thrown. Didn't quite get there. That's going to be a score of 1 for red as we head to the second end. I'm going to turn the audio off for a second, but we'll be right back with more coverage from La Curla Nostra. All right, welcome back. For the second end, I'm going to actually turn up the volume a little bit. I don't think anyone's watching it anyway, but.
It's like Einstein said, right? You know a subject thoroughly. That's Robert. Exactly. Yeah.
Laura Lucky Bennett throwing her first rock in here. Looks like it's going to come up just short of the house. Sitting on the center line there. A rock Jill may try to get around, but it is very tight to the house. And if the ice is running just a little straight, it may not be easy to get around that. Definitely a rock that the Walker family will be able to use going forward. Kevin Big Tucker Caldwell has his second rock coming in. Ooh, this may be real nice slide, slipping right behind that center guard. Gets about half buried, touching the top of the forefoot. Wonderful shot from Kevin Caldwell there. Could set up Jill Owens very well for the rest of this end. As she looks to build on her 1-0 lead.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking like a blast one of these wasn't last year. A lot of scoring. A lot of scoring. No, I've been about. Yeah, right. How'd that happen? Yeah.
Over on sheet A, the Walsh family out to an early 1-0 lead. On sheet B, we do have Mark Zakin's last shot coming in. I will put this on here for Mark the Mouthpiece Zakin, looking to find a way to add to the 1 point he has in there in the forefoot, coming around the right side of the sheet, the top side of your screen. Looks like it is going to crash on the guard. That'll still be 1 point for the Zakin family as they take an early lead over the Lucas family. Back to our coverage of sheet C here. Gonna try to get a scoreboard up for you kind folks here watching. There we go.
Wait, look at that.
Oh, another beauty for Team Owens here. Let's see who threw the by Lori Caldwell this time. Caldwell's really setting up Team Owens extremely well here in the first end. Brian, the sweater walker, calling for Noah Rocks Gordon to take out the top of those reds, maybe even get a double here. Could also consider peeling that yellow guard, which really isn't helping him right now. If this is narrow, that's not a bad result. But he may be able to get it by. Nope, looks like Brian now playing the little tap, maybe even, on his yellow rock. Okay, does get a tap up. Interesting setup in the house here. But overall, Team Owens has to be pretty happy here with 2 rocks counting and a lot of traffic there in the center of the sheet. Now Jill Owens calling on Rick, the adjuster, more. Throw up a guard, protect those 2 red rocks, make it a lot more difficult for Team Walker to find their way into the center of the house here and get rid of those red counters. Really in good shape to set up a steal here. Rick looks a little heavy on this. Could be a tap rather than a guard, but that may work out well too. Actually got a little bit. He's going to catch that top yellow, bounce off, pretty effectively guard the rocks. Oh, careful there, Jill. All right. Brian Walker calling on his vice, Brian Glatzel, now to move some red rocks around. Trying to line up the angles to see how he can get rid of as much as possible of that granite. Expect to see Brian flying out of the hack on the right side of your screen there in a second. Here's Brian Bananas Glatzel. Oh. There it comes. Rock looked like it's on target. Definitely going to hit something. How much will it get rid of? I think he's got a double here. Oh, just missed it. Just curled up a little bit at the end. Gets rid of 1 rock, opens up the yellow rocks. Opens up the red rocks. So Jill's going to put a guard back. Not the safest situation for red here, actually. Red's sitting 2. If they keep making their guards, they should be pretty okay. Yellow is sitting 3rd, 4th, and 5th, though. Still some potential for a big end with the hammer there. So either team could score big in this end still. Always fun to see that with a lot of rocks in play. All 3 games, 1-0 after 1 end. Sheet A, we got Bill, the producer, Walsh, with a 1-0 lead over Alf on the button, Winter. On sheet B, Mark, the mouthpiece, Zakin, with a 1-0 lead over Nigel, the Brit, Lucas. Yeah, we'll do a full rundown of the nicknames before this draw's over, that's for sure.
It's gonna whack something.
Yeah, exactly. It was a peel. Yeah,
I'm building the Red Sea over there.
All right, Brian Walker again looking for a peel here. He's going to get rid of the top red. Will he hit anything else? He might actually crash into his yellows.
Whole lot of shaking going
Did not make the situation any worse. Probably didn't really improve it too much either, though. Yellow sitting 3rd still. Red rocks all moved around, but still 1-2. Red, actually, because of the way that the angles played out there, still ended up guarding their 2 counters. Which means that Jill the Kid Owens will have a chance here to set up a guard and really make it difficult for Brian to get in there. Brian may have to run back that center yellow or play an in-off to score if Jill can properly guard once and then twice on her second rock. Our theme for La Curla Nostra is a little bit of... Oh, well, we have Alexis Bocafiso telling us the theme. No, I can
Okay.
relay it if you want.
So this year, well, really last year, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary.
Right.
And the theme of this Bonspiel is really family, but it's got an Italian theme with Curla Nostra. And in 1960s, the mob was in Las Vegas. So we've added betting.
Yes, so we've.
So everyone has, it's fake money, of course.
Of course.
Everyone got a certain number of fake dollars when they signed up, and they can bet on anything they want. They want to bet on the game, bet on points. We have cards. They can do any kind of betting, and whoever has the most money left at the end will win a prize.
Oh, all right. So special prizes for the most successful gamblers.
Yeah.
In preparation, we're about a week and a half now out from actual mobile gambling in Connecticut. So yes, yes, sports betting, I should say. Yeah, and actually, the casinos will have other, like online casino games too. But
we're ahead of the curve.
We're a little bit ahead of the curve here. For any regulators listening, yes, no real money, no actual betting happening. We're not.
Well, it's a free.
Well, no. But yeah, so that is our theme for this year. It's our 60th anniversary here. Well, it was supposed to be last year. Of course, we missed out on that for COVID reasons, but we're back this year with our 60th anniversary with the theme of family. And from the family, we've added an Italian theme with La Curla Nostra and put those together, and we're talking about 1960s Vegas with a little bit of mob influence there. So we're having fun here all day today. All right, Brian Walker looking for the tap back. This is pretty close, but I think he just missed the angle. Can he play off of his maybe? No. Unfortunately, a little bit the worst of both worlds. He didn't quite get the tap back, but left that center guard there. Would have either wanted to get the tap right or the peel, but ended up just in between. Very close, though, to being an excellent shot. He absolutely had a chance at that tap back there, and really just a couple feet heavy and maybe an inch off center from making a shot, a spectacular shot to score. Should still have something on his last rock. It will be a difficult one, though. Jill is going to try to take away that center guard run back, throwing up a guard in front of that yellow rock.
Sweep.
It's fine. It's over. It's over by a good 5-6 feet. And that'll do enough to take away the run back. Even covering just an edge of that means you're not running back that center yellow anymore. So it's got to be some sort of angle run or an in-off. Looking for the shot of the day here, the early shot of the day contender, if Brian can maybe angle raise that yellow in there. Good news is he's not in any disastrous trouble here. Worst thing that can happen is he'll not make a shot and give up 2. Yellow sitting 3rd and 4th, so not really a realistic way for him to give up more points.
There was like 5 reds in the house.
Yeah, update on sheet A over there for anyone paying attention. The Winter family took a score of 2 in the second end to take a 2-1 lead. Walsh family back with the hammer for end number 3. A lot of rocks in play on both B and C.
You want to bet on the shot? You want to bet on Glatzel's shot?
Oh yeah, we can. I'm gonna need my bag because I'm in the lead draw, so I haven't gotten my cash yet. Is this mine? All right. I'll pay you for the spiel, by the way. I know I'm talking into the camera, but yeah. No, with actual money, I will pay you for the spiel here. If you have change, that's the.
Yeah.
So you got to keep the fake money that we are using for our faux gambling separate from the real money which we're using to pay for the bond spiel. All right, Brian trying the in-off here off the yellow rock in the 12-foot on the right side. Looks like it may be overcurling a bit. Might just about nose it. Does get a little bit of an angle. Run on it, not enough. It'll be 2 red.
Sorry,
Thank you. Oh, that's fine. That'll be 2 red, and Jill Owens will take a 3-0 lead after 2 ends. He tried the in-off, which is really his only shot. He had a couple, or an angle raise. Didn't quite get it. So it would have been an incredible shot.
I wasn't going to bet against
you. Made it. No.
Do I have to do anything?
No.
Oh, good. I like that job.
All right. So we'll update our scoreboard for you. It's now 3-0. The Owens family after 2 ends heading into the third. We flip over to sheet B for you. We're coming up towards the end of that end. We'll cover the end of that for you. Mark Zakin sitting 2 there, somewhat undercover.
Red lead.
No, red has hammer. They've got 2 rocks left, and yellow has 1.
Wait, didn't Jill win that in?
Yes, so she has to throw first. Yeah,
Sorry.
it's been a year and a half, folks. So some of us are.
You want to go second. I keep forgetting.
You do want to go second generally in this sport. Oh, unfortunate there on sheet. Yes, yeah. Yo Mama being Cardi. Bring back the old nickname. Unfortunately, did peel out the red one in the back. Now it is 3 yellow. As we move on to skip rocks there, I'll put us back on our sheet C feature game. Keep you updated with what's going on in B, and you can see that there on the right side of the screen. We do have all 6 houses up there for your viewing pleasure. All right, Team Walker looking to get off to a good start here, down 3-0, but with the hammer, Laura Lucky Bennett puts a rock into the house. Let's start things off for the Walker family. So why don't we go through all 3 sheets and the nicknames that the Book of Fusos put together for all our players, because these are pretty good. We have on sheet A, Team Red, Alf on the button Winter, playing with Brian Big Tuna Tully. That's a Office reference if I ever heard one. And Steven Stevie the Couch Dulski. They're playing against on Team Yellow Bill the Producer Walsh, Lawrence Skinny Larry Beccari, and Andrew Andy Boy Boone. On sheet B, we've got on the red, playing with the Red Rocks, Nigel the Brit Lucas with Ilya Yo Mama Biancardi, Heidi Brains Biancardi, and Thomas Tommy Boy Lucas. They're playing against the Zakin family led by Mark the Mouthpiece Zakin with Paul Woody Douglas, Cindy the Second, me and Zia. Did I pronounce that right? Do we know? We're not. Yeah. Mianja. There you go. Mianja. Thank you. And Sean the Horse Lawyer Hogan. We've been over, but we have Jill the Kid Owens playing with Rick the Adjuster Moore, Lori the Nurse Caldwell, and Kevin Big Talker Caldwell playing against Brian the Sweater Walker, Brian Bananas Glatzel, Noah Rocks Gordon, and Laura Lucky Bennett. I am Edward Ed the Bookie Simia, apparently. You'll see more of that in the second draw. We have a whole new set of players and nicknames. Now I'm going to check out how much fake money I have to fake gamble with today. Oh my goodness, look at all this counterfeit. To be fair, the counterfeit money is very clearly not real money, which is smart. But it does look pretty good quality. Lose. Yeah, if you lose. Okay. Now we're bribing players. Yeah. There's actually a very good documentary, series of documentaries on Netflix called Bad Sport, where they just talked about the first episode is about the Arizona State point shaving scandal, which was a betting scandal in college basketball back in the 90s. There's a lot of fake money here, I have to say, as we get ready for what should be a fun day here at Nutmeg, our first event in over a year and a half. Okay, Lori Caldwell. Looking to take out that yellow rock in the back of the house, I believe, is what Jill's calling for here. That is the counter. This looks like it might sail a bit wide. Could be a run back on the red high guard, though. It's close. I think it's just going to split it off or throw it into those red rocks on the right. Could end up being a tap. Just a bit too much. Almost caught another deflection off the red. In there for second shot, though. So that'll work. Okay, now Brian trying to figure out how he can score up multiple here, down 3. So he's looking to put one up in the front there. Guard is one in the back. Out count those red rocks. He's going to need to be full 8 foot in order to do that. Brooms up curling supplies with a truck outside the building today.
There's a line. There were people who were here doing stuff that left and went over there to shop. And then I saw some other members that came just to shop. Yeah.
Okay, Noah Gordon throwing up a draw here. Looks like it might catch a piece of the yellow guard, splitting them off. Does have the effect of kind of guarding that the yellow counter. Updating our scores on other sheets. Team Zakin, the Zakin family, did steal a big end of 4 there in the second end on sheet B to take a 5-0 lead after 2 ends. Rick Moore looking to draw in behind that yellow center guard, maybe in front of that yellow one in the back of the house. Will it get by? No, just clips the top guard. Might have been just a touch light. Very close, though. Very close. Had a good chance to put one top 8 with sweeping there. Just couldn't quite get it past the guard. Which means yellow still has a chance to score a pretty good end here if they can get one in. And now, Brian, maybe this is the better call. Throwing one in top 4 behind their corner guard rather than throwing another one right open in the center. Still a decent chance. If you make this shot, good chance to get a 2 or a 3 in this end for yellow, actually. We'll see where this ends up. And even if it's not undercover, another one in the house. Certainly can't hurt at this point. Especially if you don't leave an easy double. Looks like it's pretty close to what he wanted, though. Could be a little heavy. Again, the ice is moving pretty good. It's coming down, though. Just a touch heavy back of the button. Wonderful shot by Brian Glatzel. Very nice. It is available to hit still. Probably going to make it very difficult to double out those yellows, though. Hard to say, actually. Rick might be able to see all of it, and if you could nose that yellow or get just to the left side of nose, you might be able to make a double here. Just the sweepers on and off. Definitely going to make the hit. What else will he get out of this? This is close to that double line, and he gets it. What a shot from Rick the Adjuster Moore. Yeah, I could.
Jackson and I bet $1,000 on
$1,000 on sheet A. What's the who's got what?
I've got Bell's team and he's got Al's team.
Wow. Okay. So we already have our first big action here of La Curla Nostra betting on the outcome of games currently on the ice.
Ooh, this looks good. Let's see. Look at that.
Yeah, Glatzel slides one back down there, takes out Rick's rock. So yellow once again sitting one. Just missed. Rick Moore made a double to set that up. Got rid of 2 yellow counters.
Oh, wow.
But 2 good shots in a row by Brian Glatzel, though, to keep yellow in this end and give them a good chance of scoring here, getting on the board. Jill the Kid Owens preparing to try to take out that rock that Brian Glatzel just left there on the 4-foot.
Jill obviously is the kid because
Yes. Yeah, if you couldn't hear that, Alexis clarifying that Jill is the kid because her parents curled here for a very long time, still come by the club for years after they stopped curling even. Both were very active when I started curling here. It looks like it's going to be a bit narrow. Might run that yellow in. Could actually get the long double here, depending on where this goes. But has the weight. Well, it will get rid of one yellow. Push the other one under. Actually, not technically get rid of the yellow. Pushed it out to the 12-foot. But left the one she ran back as the counter. And actually undercover probably helped the situation for yellow a bit there by guarding that yellow stone. Now, Brian Walker, I'm going to guess, is going to try to put another one under cover, sit 2, and potentially leave himself with a chance to get 3 this end and tie up the game. On sheet B, the Zakin family in control on the scoreboard 5-0, but Nigel DeBritt Lucas sitting 3, it looks like, early in that end. Should say fairly late in that end. They are now on Vice Rocks. So we could be seeing a comeback from the Brit and Co. on sheet B. All right, in our feature game here on sheet C, Brian Walker getting ready to deliver, looking to bury one under the corner guards on the right side. Sit 2 with his first skip rock. This one is curling quite a bit off the center line. Looks like it may crash into the red guard, unfortunately for Brian. And leaves a center guard that I imagine Jill will try to get around. If she can get around this, she could still get a steal here at this end. Bury one behind that yellow rock in the 4-foot. And that would flip this end right around. Okay, rock is away. Sweepers are on it. Line doesn't look half bad. Looks like it could definitely get around that yellow center guard if it has the weight. Sweepers are going hard. It's going to be close. Oh, it looks like it might be a little light. It is curling a lot now. Yeah, just going to be about into that yellow center guard. Might just tap it an inch. All right, well, that leaves Brian Walker with an opportunity to get his deuce here. Get right back in the game. Just needs to draw somewhere where he's going to outcount those red rocks. He'll need full 8-foot to do it. Looks like they're just discussing how they want to make that shot. There are a couple different ways he could potentially draw in for the point. Could come off the center line. Could try to draw to the 4-foot. Drawing to the 4-foot. Oh. Brian narrowly avoiding falling on the ice there. We got a measure on sheet A. It looks like it's yellow who won that measure. I'll have to check in and see what the score was. They're putting it up now. We have a score of 2 for yellow as Bill, the producer Walsh, takes a 3-2 lead after 3 ends over Alf on the button Winter. All right, final rock of the end away. Brian Walker looking to get his deuce. Gonna need to get it by those guards. May need to sweep. Sweepers may think it's heavy though, because they're staying off of it. It will get by the guard, which tells me it has quite a bit of weight. And Rickmore looking to sweep it out. So it does go by. Yellow still does score 1 to get on the board. After 3 ends, it'll be Team Owens 3 and Team Walker 1.
So it's kind of funny. Daryl, we would always want to go to his apartment. Like, he had the nicest apartment. Like, you know, both of his parents. One of them was a professor. Like, 3 or 4. Yeah, buddy. It was funny. Yeah.
So as we start the 4th end, Brian going to have Laura Lucky Bennett throw a center line guard, but just talking to her a bit about which way she wants to throw that rock.
Oh man, Brian made a comeback there.
He did get his rock. He did get his point there in the 3rd. Get on the board. Gets a not too bad a guard out of Laura. It's a little off center. It's on the what we call the TV line on the 4-foot, but certainly usable. Kevin, big talker, Caldwell going to try to draw around it for Jill though. Take a quick look in.
So your mama throws 2.
Yeah.
Take a quick look in on sheet B. This is actually the Zakin versus Lucas game. Zakin sitting 1 right now. And they're discussing the shot, so let's go back to our feature game here on C. Brian Walker calling for another center line guard. This one looks like it may land right on the center line. Very nice rock. Super's bringing it in. Making sure it got over and a little deeper. This will be a nice solid 2 guard right on the center line. Very nice shot from Laura Bennett. Brian will be very happy with that. Looks like Jill's going to try coming around that one now. And that one slips through the house just a little deep. That'll give the Walker family here a chance to try to set up a steal. He's going to try to have Noah Gordon draw right around there. I think he's saying that if you leave it short and leave another center guard, that's just fine as well. Like this is actually going to crash and split the center guards, but not too far. So there's a lot of traffic out there. It is off the center line now. I imagine Jill will try to draw behind one of those guards. Kind of her choice. She's going to the left here. As Lori Caldwell will look to put one in the house for her and start the scoring off. Red has hammer in this end. So they'll be very happy to get one in there behind a corner guard and go from there. Team Zakin did end up stealing one on Sheep Beast, so they're up 6-0 at the end of the third end. All three games in the fourth end. At the moment, running across the scoreboard, Walsh is up 3-2 on Winter. Zakin up 6-0 on the Lucas family. And the Owens family up 3-1 on the Walker family. Brian Walker calling for a soft hit here. Doesn't quite get over. Noah just missing that red rock in the house, which Jill, I imagine, will now try to guard. Having Laurie throw one up in front of the house, right in front of that red stone in the 8-foot. Rock coming in nicely. Should be online for the guard. And pretty decent separation. So actually a beautiful guard there. To leave Jill sitting one. Brian Glatzel now up. He's going to try it looks like a down weight, maybe something like a hack weight, or even less. Or is it a straight draw? Hard to say. Couldn't tell from Brian's. Either way, he's going to try to come around that red guard and either outcount that red or got to play on that red. Actually, that red's a little overburied. I imagine this is just a straight draw. Although the weight looks more like a soft hit. The problems of not being able to hear them on the ice. In any case, this one is going to just clip that top yellow, the yellow guard. The yellow rock will end up in the house as a second counter. Jill Owen's still in good position here with the hammer. Does look like she's going to try to guard up and just play for her one here, though. Protect the one she's got. Well, she may have changed her mind and said, let's draw in behind those yellow guards in the corner, actually. Rick the Adjuster Moore. Throws up a guard that looks like it just made it over the hog line. They're looking. They must be very close. Brian Walker taking a long look at that red rock. Can't tell from the cameras. They decide to leave it there. Actually, not the worst rock for Brian to use if he can draw around it. It is a tight little port there. He's pointing to a lot of the guards. I think he's looking to peel some stuff out here, though. Just start getting rid of some rocks to gain access to that red, the counter. Yep, that's going to be a peel. Moves a couple rocks out of the way. Unfortunately, just bumped that red up into the 4-foot undercover. So Team Owen's now sitting 2 with the hammer. Starting to have some potential for a big end. She's going to look to guard her second shot now. Rock actually comes all the way down to the red counter. So red's sitting 3. Those are staggered in a way that it may be difficult to get rid of both of them. Maybe difficult to get to that with any real weight because of that high red guard and the fact that there isn't a ton of curl. So Brian's got a tough house to look at. Is looking at potentially get rid of those 2 reds at the top of the house. Could catch maybe half that red rock and get them both moving.
Nigel's okay, except he's not sliding.
Yeah, Brian's still considering his options here. Tough house to look at right now. You could play something. You could potentially even come through those guards, those very high guards, and make a play on the red shot rock in the forefoot. Try to slip through there, hit and roll behind everything. Difficult shot, not a huge port there. This is also tough because you're going to have to come pretty close to that red guard to get rid of these 2 reds.
Wait for the boss lady
Sorry, Brian not able to get to those red rocks. Jill's looks like she's going to throw something up just to guard that. Brian will have one more opportunity to turn this end around with his last rock. But Jill Owens getting ready to throw her first skip rock here now on C. Sitting 3 with the hammer, looking at the potential for a big end. Yeah, Brian saying he just tossed the rock a bit on his release, got it out there wide. Over on sheet A, looks like the Winter family took 1 in the 4th end to tie the game up at 3-all. Could be our closest game of the early session, the way things are shaping up. May focus more on that as time goes on.
Maybe those are the guys who
All right, Jill gets her guard. So I think Brian's best shot here, if I'm is coming through that narrow port, playing on the red counter. Could sit 1. All these shots are going to be difficult. They're looking at an in-off, a very hard upweight in-off, and I think that's what they're playing. Also very tough. probably gonna want to play that at like peel weight or close to it, or else the rock will drift too far back into the 8-foot. Oh, sorry, did not update the scoreboard. No. I don't know if anyone's watching, actually. I didn't check. I actually want to restart the computer at some point because it's really slow. It was off for a year and a half, so.
Right. It needs a little moment.
Yeah.
Thaw out, probably.
Yeah. It's struggling to switch between things, but that's okay. I know what's going on. And everything seems to be still running okay, so. All right, Brian, trying this in off. Probably doesn't have the weight to make this. It looks like it's drifting a little wide now. Unfortunately, so that's going to slip through the house. So Jill Owens sitting 3 and has a final rock at the end. Giving her a chance. So we do have apparently 1 viewer at the moment. So whoever's out there watching, thank you. Glad you're interested in our in-house Bonspiel. Hope you're having fun.
Future broadcast.
Yes.
That's your, is that your future? Is that your...
Oh, no.
question?
Oh, no, it's not.
It could be. Side job.
Be a pretty late start, but I could.
Yeah, well. Now seems to be the time people are picking
Yeah, it's true.
No, I want to be a totally different one.
That's right.
Hello.
How you guys doing? Pretty good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
So Jill comes up short there. Does still get her 3 for the end, though, to take a 6-1 lead after 4 ends over the Walker family.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Great. No, they're out in the parking lot. Because they're kind of nondescript.
Obviously.
How you doing? Yeah, I like getting weight that I had the most trouble with. I thought my balance was all right. My aim was all right. I had a little weight problem. Bless you. You might do better, man. I had a hernia surgery. I feel like I'm doing better.
All right. Team Owens starts the end with a center guard. Now, Team Walker looking for a corner guard here to try to set up some scoring. Rock will stay and play a little bit out there wide, but could be usable later. Definitely a corner guard.
So I was here at the beginning of September.
And Kevin Caldwell will try to come around that center guard for Jill.
Barefoot with my jeans rolled up,
Right.
scrubbing the concrete.
There you go. Right.
And now look at it.
Now it's beautiful.
But that's why it's fun, you know. That's why the club is always fun. Always fun to take it from concrete to
That one just going to be a little heavy. Rick sweeping behind the rock doesn't actually manage to slow it down. So
except the long lines are yarn.
Really?
Yeah, the lines are yarn.
Back up with Laura Bennett throwing a
They're done with a route.
throwing her second rock at the end.
But the others are decaf. They're frozen.
Well, looks like it's a little more weight.
But you know, it's
Could potentially end up in the house, and depending on the line, might use that wide corner guard.
pour ice on there. Gotta come up.
It's got a chance. Is it a little too heavy? Might be just a little too much to stay in the house. If it had been just a foot deep of staying in the house, could have been a great shot. Just went a touch deep, very close to utilizing that wide guard, and sitting one for Brian Walker's team. 2 rocks in play though there for yellow on the right side of the sheet. Lori Caldwell now going to try to utilize that center guard for Jill Owens' team. Draw around and try to set up a steal here in the early going. Jill Owens with the Red Rocks and a 6-1 lead at the moment. Rock coming in, it might be a little heavy, does just slip by the center guard. Could have used the tick, looks like it's heading out the back. Alright.
Bridgeport have a general mandate?
Yeah.
So it's crazy, like you go from town to town. In our town, you don't have to have them. Go to Norwalk, you gotta wear them. Do you know Yo Mama? He lives in your town.
Okay. An effective shot there by Noah Gordon actually does split those 2 guards to make them a little bit more, splits the guard, leaves 2 usable corner guards. I suppose that red one still is a center guard for Jill, but definitely can use that yellow as a corner. Still looking to see who's going to get in the house first. We do have a little traffic building up in front of the house down there. So whoever gets in there, there could be some scoring here once we start getting rocks in the house. There's a lot to hide behind already.
That was it. Serial.
Lori doesn't get around the guard, but she does tap a rock into the house. So red now sitting 1 and still has a very nice center guard. As Lori says hello through the glass. And Noah's second does slide through the house. So we'll see if Jill Owens' team can work on setting up a better steal. She's looking to tap that red guard, which is just inches outside of the house. Have Rick the Adjuster more. Kick that one, maybe back into the 4-foot under guard if you hit this one right on the nose. And give red some real potential for a steal here.
The best motto ever.
And Rick's rock looks like sliding towards the back of the house, and Brian Walker manages to sweep it through and out of play. All right, Brian Glatzel now has the opportunity to potentially set yellow up for a score. Yellow has the hammer, Team Walker. If they can get behind a guard here, suddenly a multiple score end, 2 or more, is in play. But got to get one in there. And no better time than now for Brian Bananas Glatzel. And it looks like Walker's calling for the in-off of the on the Redstone, currently in the 12-foot. And here comes Glatzel throwing his first rock of the end. Not a ton of weight. Maybe about board weight here. It's curling up. Should make contact with that red, get a nice roll. This could be a beautiful shot by Glatzel. Oh, didn't quite get enough of it. And it is rolling far to the back, but it does hang on in the back 12. So, yellow sitting one, and with the hammer, that is a potential counter. If Brian Walker's team can keep the house clean, that rock could be their second or third point by the end.
Yeah, but if you have the stick, that's how easy to do it. You get the stick, and then you find out like it's only going to be one.
On sheet B, it looks like Zakin did steal one in the fourth to take a 7-0 lead after 4 ends. All these games we played through the entire 8 ends. Because this is a one-game spiel until the final, we're using a point spiel format. Teams get a point for every end they win, and an additional point for every rock they score during the game. They get a bonus 5 points for winning the game. Rick Moore with a very nice draw there. Not quite undercover, but certainly at least edge to edge with that red guard. Now sitting shot there in the top 4, so Brian Glatzel going to try to remove that. I'm sure Brian Walker, the skip, would love if it somehow could just slip by that guard, get to the inside, and get under cover a little bit itself. Sweepers are going hard on this. They are near the guard. They have to be. Looks like this one will end up hitting the center guard and avoids the jam at least, and clears out the center. So the red rock now completely exposed. It is still the counter. I can imagine that Jill will likely play to guard this. Just for a point spiel, if winning ends didn't really matter, you'd probably you'd at least consider, I should say, hitting the yellow in the back just to make sure you didn't give a big end here with a 5-point lead. But the format of the event kind of dictates your strategy a little bit, and gonna try to steal the end here. Only the top 2 teams will make the final. So it's going to take a big score, and if you're playing on sheet C and you see Team Zakin's already won 4 ends, they're up 7-0. Makes sense to be aggressive here and try to chase another end win for sure.
Oh yeah. We were there for a junior sponge deal. The Jay, the arsonist, really, they were all talking about it. That's a small town, right? They know when the guy's getting out.
Jill looking to throw a guard. Wasn't happy with her release. Ended up throwing it a bit wide. The handle's light though. It could come back. Does have just enough of a handle that it seems to be curling the way she wants it to, and with a light handle, it might curl enough to get and become an effective guard. Just slowing down, probably got about edge to edge. It makes the hit a bit harder. Wasn't the guard she was looking for as Brian Walker. Does still have a relatively clean look at the red counter.
Nice to see you again.
He does have to throw, I have to remember for a righty, which is his throw the out turn. I'm a lefty, so it's the opposite for me. Does have to throw the out turn. Can't afford to overcurl because he's got a guard in the way there on the outside, but definitely has a good shot at making this one and setting up a pretty good end for yellow here to get them back in the game. On sheet A, Winter Family again steals in the fifth to take the lead, I should say. A 4-3 lead after 5 ends in what looks to be a close game. And as it turns out, Jill Owens' guard does what it needed to do as Brian's hit overcurled just a bit, crashing into that guard that was guarding the outside of the shot rock. Making the red counter fully exposed again, but Jill on her final rock will try to guard this. Try to preserve a steal of 1 here in the fifth. Okay. Jill throwing the guard back up again. Looks to be headed on a similar path to the last one. Not going to get over. Will get into the house, though, and sit second shot. All right, so while that's not technically not a guard, kind of has a similar effect in a sense. It will prevent Brian Walker from scoring 2 here. There really isn't a shot for 2. Probably theoretically could find a way to get a 2 here. Maybe actually even that's hard. In any case, not gonna try some crazy double and then run off his outside yellow and back into the house and avoid all the jams. Blah blah blah. No, he's going to. He does have a straight hit at this red, but because Jill's red sits second shot, this will be a shot only for 1. Brian's got to hit and stick a little more than fully in the house in order to get his point here. Shots away. Line looks pretty good. Sweepers are off it. I would be going, though. This thing's starting to curl. Now they're on it. He is going to hit the rock. Should get enough of it to stick around and score the point. It is rolling, rolling. It stays for the point. That'll be 1 yellow. Just enough. They are looking at it on the overhead. I don't think it's that close. Looks like it's yellow pretty clearly, and they agree. So that'll be 1 for Brian. It's okay. Brian's shaking his head a little bit, but he got his point on the board. And that'll make it a 6-2 game after 5 ends. Yeah.
So it's so if you look at C, right? There it's they got 6.
Right.
In the 6th end, they got
4 in the second, 1 in the third one.
Yeah, so it's like a progression along the numbers that are 1 to 16.
Yeah, like a
The numbers that are up are the end.
Right. Yeah, I got it.
like a board game track you're moving down. Yeah.
Because I remember the first time I came here, I'm like, they play 16 ends, man.
I haven't played 16 ends in a long time, Tony. They used to play that and more, but it's been a while since 16 end games have been a thing. If you look back at the old score lines from first time curling was in the Olympics back in the 20s, you'll see 22 end games.
Yeah, well, 'cause they,
And no shaking, so the gate scores were like 45-5, things like that. All right, back to the action here, and both
I was
teams.
joking.
Both teams get guards up. And yeah, it'll be the Owens family with the hammer here.
He's very hard on himself, you know.
Yeah.
Very hard.
And Walker's lead. Laura Bennett ticks his guard, keeps it in play, but now out to the side. Jill is going to look to have Kevin Caldwell draw in
Ooh,
to sit one behind the guard.
that was brutal. Got the movie playing on the screen. My favorite part. There's my sister and Kenji, son of a bitch, I'll kill you.
Godfather on the TV. If anyone's wondering what's going on. Draw by Kevin goes deep, but does stick around in the house, right? Way in the back. Red has hammer. And as we said, when you have hammer, those rocks could potentially be counters. Unlikely, but you never know if a team without. It is a point spiel. Yeah. Yeah. No, Gordon's first rock at the end coming down here also looks just a bit heavy, but it may curl enough to get a piece of that red one in the back and get out of the house. Jones trying to sweep it out to prevent that. It actually sits in the back. I believe it is out counting the red. Yellow probably sitting one now. Hard to say. Yeah, no, yellow definitely sitting one. Those rocks shouldn't be relevant at this point now, but you never know. All right.
He made an incredible shot.
Did he make the double, or?
Oh yeah, he did.
He made it enough to sit too. Yeah. Yeah. But he did open it up. He didn't do exactly what he wanted, I think, because he did open it up for just this open hit for one. Yeah, like, but I think he was looking to make the double clean.
I don't know how you get both of his rocks out.
We don't have to, but this is going to be narrow, and I think clip the guard, and that'll be on sheet B.
You know,
Two more for Zakin, so it will be 9-0. So it'll be 9-0 Zakin after 5 ends. You won't see shaking in this event either, much like those Olympics back in the 20s, because it is a point spiel. So we are playing all 8 ends, and the top 2 teams after the first 2 draws will advance to the La Curla Nostra final. No shot clears out the guards. Jill going to try to guard again here. Does have the hammer.
So Nigel,
Sitting one.
you know, he pulled the muscle. He hasn't been, he's been skipping, but he hasn't
Yeah, he's been skipping from like lead. Is he throwing or
been. But last
yeah, not lead, but he's playing.
this turn, Nigel fell down and broke his ankle. He still won.
Yeah.
And he still won.
Well, Nigel has a history of.
Thinking, man, Nigel's going to win. He hurt himself. He's on the road to victory.
Well, he has a history of winning finals after injuring himself,
Yeah.
being part of a team. Not just last year; it's happened 2 years ago. And this event happened at the Dykes. When you're winning his team with oh, I'm forgetting who his skip was now, but it'll come to me later. In the final, tripped over a broom in the middle of the game and hurt his
Oh, man.
head. Yeah, and they went on to win the game. That was halfway through the game at that point. Yeah. That was many years ago now. That was
He's like Manny Minoso.
my second season. So probably the 2012 Dykes, if I had to guess. Yeah.
He was the most hit batsman.
Yeah. Alright. Red team here, the Owens family sitting 2, but Ryan Glatzel looking to clean that up with a hit. He's going to take out 1. Will he get both on the double? He does! And his rock slips behind the corner guard. So yellow now sitting 2. What a turnaround. Great shot. That is a banana shot by Brian Bananas Glatzel. Oh, is that the, is it for doubles now? The button bag?
I'm not sure.
Is that what we're... The good news for Jill Owens, even after that double, is the house is wide open. She has hammer. Very good chance that she'll be able to get at least a score of 1 here in this very wide open house. Rick Moore throwing to try to sit 1. If you wanted to try to play for a big end, you probably still could here. There's a couple corner guards. You could sit on the ones in the back. This one might actually be coming down to the ones in the back, which is just fine. You actually... Okay, well, it sits back 4. Looks like Brian's going to try to hit this one and put a little pressure on by at least counting a bunch. Even if the house will be wide open, you know, that there is some danger once the other team has a bunch of counters in the house.
Curling in. Oh, baby.
No, this is unfortunate. It slipped just by. Might actually clip the... Yeah, clean up some of the stuff in the back there. But just missed the hit on that red counter. Jill now can choose to sit 2 or guard hers, or both. She is going to... Looks like she's going to try to just guard the 1. You can follow the action on all 3 sheets here on the left side of the screen, and we'll, for now, keep our focus here on sheet C. A solid guard thrown there by Rick Moore. Brian Walker still has access to that rock in a draw. He's not going to be able to hit it, but he may look to just come down to it and try to steal the end. Yeah, after this draw, we will update all the software on this computer and give it a good restart. The computer was off for a year and a half. It's struggling a bit like the rest of us. And a lot of things need to be updated still, so we'll... Yeah. But it's doing its valiant best, just like everyone here today in our first event back on the ice in over a year and a half. This Nutmeg Curling Club hosting its first Bonspiel, the internal La Curla Nostra. First Bonspiel since early 2020, and the first first official games since March 2020 here at the club, as we missed the entirety of the 2020-21 season due to the COVID-19 pandemic. All right, Brian Walker trying to throw just enough weight to bounce this red out. Needs to slip past the guard. It's going to slip past the guard. Will it get enough of this red rock? I think it will. I think he's going to remove the red.
It always works out.
Does roll out, but he is sitting one. Nice first shot by Brian Walker, who's definitely throwing better as the game goes on. I think we'll see that for a lot of our curlers today because it's their first time in a game situation in well over a year for many of them. Even those of us who curled didn't play much in the last year and a half. I know I've played 3 games since Nutmeg shut down last March. We have had the ice in for a little over a week now, about a week now, actually. So there was time to practice a little bit. Not everyone was able to get out on the ice, even those of us who did only a couple times. And this is a great way to get back into the season as our leagues start, I believe, tomorrow morning. Sunday morning league kicks off for the first time. More Godfather references appearing as the food arrives. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. One of the most famous. Actually, we're right there on the movie too. Yeah.
No,
Not quite, but no, it's at this whole booth, right? That's when they. Oh no, it's not. It's the other scene. Yeah.
So they labeled everything. They boxed everything.
All right, Jill, gonna look to draw one in here. See if she can get a counter in there with hammer. This is her first rock. She does have another one after this. Jill calling the sweepers off. Feels like she put a little too much on it, and this does look a little hot. Nothing to stop it either. If it doesn't slow down, it could go right through the house. It is slowing down now, though. Brian Glatzel trying to work to get it out of the house. May not get out of the house, but it is not counting. It's biting in the back. That yellow rock on the left side of the house is full 12, still the counter. Ooh, on sheet A, Alf Winter, a big steal of 2 in the 6th end to take a 6-3 lead heading into the 7th. Threatening to take control of that game, although Bill Walsh still with the hammer, only down 3 with 2 ends to play. Still probably our most competitive game of the first draw, and certainly still in play for both teams. And if you're looking over at the action on sheet B, looks like Team Zakin in control again in this end, threatening another steal. Definitely looking like they're setting up a score that could bring them to the finals at 4:30 this afternoon.
No. But it's funny that the music shut off when the phone was ringing.
We should be good as long as we don't play any licensed music too loud. That got the one of the not taken down, but just like muted, like when it for like a few minutes on your.
Yeah.
All right. Brian Walker trying to get this around the guard. Could also play the tick off the guard and still be count. I mean, could count a second rock.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
just
That's
gets the
sweeper.
tick, and yellow sitting 1-2. Jill Owens with the hammer, though, has a shot for 1 and does have backing here. Can play a straight hit, or it looks like she is playing a straight hit. Could play a straight hit, or could play a draw knowing with a little heavy knowing she has the backing. Her preference here. I'm not sure what the amount of. Look at all this. A lot of amusement. I think some people in the ice haven't gotten their money yet, their fake money to gamble with yet. But seeing the wad of not real cash in my hand. Jill's rock coming down here. It does look like it's more of a heavy draw. This is going to be perfect right on the nose for 1. Great shot for Jill to get her 1 and expand her lead to 7-2 after 6 ends. So this game not entirely over either. It's only a 5-point lead. A big end with hammer could give Team Walker a chance there with 2 ends to play, but they're going to need to score probably a minimum of 3 to have a realistic shot in this game here. So a 3 and a 2, and if you get any more than 3 in this end, that's a bonus. You know, Jill having won 4 ends and with 7 rocks on the board could be feeling like she's got a shot at the finals if she finishes up strong in these final 2 ends. So both teams with plenty to play for here on C.
But she also has lower. She might. Don't know.
Looking around the sheets, Team Zakin sitting 2 here in the 6th as they continue to try to score points here. Good shot at making the final based on what they've done so far. Our closest game over on A, where I do not really have a setup for to show it as a featured game, but we might go there late as the action picks up if it's close in the 8th end.
Lots of money bet on sheet A.
There is we heard there's one very big bet on sheet A.
Hey, stranger, how you doing? Shaking hands. So Bobby told us.
Yeah, just gonna help load them in the car.
He ain't.
No, they are not. I have. We're moving some blades today. They are heavy. If you've never lifted a blade before, they are. I'm telling people on the street, if they have not lifted a blade before, they are quite heavy. I have done this.
One in the box.
Oh yes, is that one? Yeah. Oh.
The flex wing in the box. Difference is that one in the box that we built in, the other one is separate. So they come out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But it's funny. It's just funny the way things have worked out. You know, in May I was walking them around because they were here. At the beginning of September we had to walk them around again. Now I get to take them out.
Hey, Jill Owens with a 7-2 lead over Brian Walker's team. The family, I should say. This is the Owens family against the Walker family in our family theme here at La Curla Nostra 2021.
I'm taking it to them.
Got a couple corner guards that could be very useful for the Walker family if they want to get back in this game. Could try to hide behind the set up a big end for sure.
Hey, how you doing, big guy?
What's up?
Very.
You too.
How's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
We got fake money.
We're together today, I believe, right? We're together today?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna see what your nickname was on the sheet, but I already know what it is. 'Cause they did not change. They went with a classic. Yeah.
It's got to stick.
Yeah.
One gloves?
Oh, I don't care.
Anyone first.
We're gonna move deep.
Yeah.
Always the old guys, right? Old guys rule.
I would happily lift it. I'll play it for you. Turn off the audio for a second. Here, all the games are on. You can keep watching.
Too bad. How are you?
Pretty good. I gotta get out there after this draw. get some pads. Actually, I think Craig Stephan asked me to buy a couple for him too. Do I need cash? Card's fine. Okay.
No, asking if I have to go next door. No. I'll get the money, which something strange these days.
Yeah. Sales picking up again.
Yeah. Hopefully. I hope so. After 18 months. Yeah. Scary.
everyone needs new equipment.
Okay.
Well, some people.
Oh, Bruce is down over there. Bruce up, yes.
Thanks a lot, Lex. It's almost over.
Yeah. I'm glad we're pretty much back here at least. Everywhere it seems like.
I just always worry that government.
So where else are you traveling around next 2 weeks? Oh, okay.
Full dark.
Right.
Then I go up to Maine. Bad news. I showed up.
It's all right. We're gonna do great.
The harvest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right. There. Yeah. Okay.
Got it? Good. You see what it was? The door guy?
2 or 3.
This guy, he's selling shoes in his truck.
I think they know each other, Tony.
This morning the ice was 27 degrees.
Okay, that's about right. No, it's too hot.
23.
Yeah.
25 to fall on your ass.
Well, seen it worse than that
I do.
before.
I'm out of balance. 25 is not good. But I guess it's doing fine now.
Yeah, it looks okay. Everyone's been fine out there. We haven't had any falls
I
really.
think it's going to be like we've had every year now with Monday mornings. We're out on the ice early.
Sure. Yeah.
We're gonna have to tweak them next door.
Sure.
Rooms up? Were they here? They coming?
They're here.
Yeah.
You just passed by.
Hey, Suzie,
Like,
big
hey.
guy.
Hey,
Yeah,
How you
they're
doing?
trucking
come
out
on,
there.
you?
Great.
Family's good?
Family's good. He came home. He's home from college. He came home for the.
Where's Alexis?
Right there.
Look at her. Oh, cute as shit.
How are you?
Good. And you?
You guys checking people in?
All right, check people in.
All right.
Thanks, sweetie.
How's everything going? Okay.
I'll take it.
I'm good with that.
Good. Yep.
Not everyone is.
I'm all shot up on everything.
Yep.
Well, money now or later, whenever.
Whenever, but here, hey,
Yeah.
You get money back.
that's your cut.
Huh?
That's your cut.
You get the money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gambling with your fake money today. So you
Oh,
can-
Yeah,
gambling?
it's gambling. You
With
bet on
your-
anything you want. You
anything.
bet on cards, you can bet on the games, you can bet on what Ed's going to say next.
Candy
Whatever you
cigarettes?
want.
Yeah,
You
you got
got the gum ones.
And then, whoever has the most money at the end.
They're in the parking lot. In fact, the guy's right now. Do me a favor. You owe me $5.
No.
No, wait. There's no leave time to go.
I got friends, you know?
Yeah, I know. You're
All right, we're back.
People that we couldn't find. So if you didn't get an email yesterday, you're good.
King of cash for the bars. And that
Cool.
was good.
He greenlighted you, so.
He did?
And it looks like it is now 11-0 on sheet B for Zakin over Lucas. We've got still a 7-2 game here on sheet C as we head into Vice Rocks. And over on A, playing the 7th, looks like there's just one rock left to be played.
Yeah, I saw it.
Must be one rock left for each team. Yes, both skips with one rock left. Red currently counting one there. with the 6-3 lead, but without hammer.
Wait, where's the?
You've been using it all morning.
I signed this one. I signed this one.
Here.
Oh, that. Oh.
Do I need to sign something? If you haven't curled and signed the curling waiver.
Yeah, there's the standard waiver too. Yeah.
I think I signed it right now.
All right, Brian Glatt's looking to play a little bit of a downweight hit here. Get rid of the red counter.
It's not 2020. It's 2021. 21.
Yeah, I just picked a date because I'm here like every month, so.
And cleanly removes the red counter. As we head into Skip Brock's another nice shot. Brian Glatzel really having a pretty fine game for his first time out on the ice this season. Made some very nice shots. Yellow sitting first and third. There is still potential for a big end here for Yellow.
It is a small town.
Would take a miss though, because Jill has a pretty clean look at the Yellow counter. And if she can continue to make hits and count two, will probably prevent the Walker family from building any sort of large end here, which is what they need to get back in the game down 7-2 with only 2 ends left to play.
Better than they ever have.
Well,
I
It's on the shit. All right, Jill lining up the hit here with her first rock. Rock is away. It's pretty close here, actually. Weight's nice. Good, safe control hit. Maybe even a little under control. It's going to come right down. May even get a nice roll. It rolls to the corner of the sheet. And I don't think it stuck around for second shot. That is pretty close. Think Yellow's still second, though. Now, Brian can see all that red. Just getting rid of that red. I guess if you got hard to the inside, you might be able to make the double. Sit two. And Yellow really does need to play for, again, realistically going to need 3 points here to get back in this game.
That has happened in the past. This is
You had him in the light fixture outside our garage.
If Brian doesn't like this, he could always try to draw around the guard instead. But the draws are really setting up to score 2, not 3. But he could do that and still try to get a big steal in the ace to get back in the game as well. It's a reasonable option. Might be the... But no, he is going to play the hit here. Really just trying to find a way to maybe get a 3 here in the 7th and get back into the game.
It was huge. Huge. It's the biggest one I'd ever seen.
Looking over on sheet A, it looks like Alf on the button winner has taken control in the second half. It was a 3-3 tie after 4 ends. Now a 7-3 lead for the Winter family over the Walsh family. It's Bill Walsh and co. going to need 4 here in the 8th to tie it up. Oh, had a slip on B, but everyone looks okay.
Curla down, Curla back up.
Yep. All right, Brian Walker's hit away. Looks pretty close, but will it get by that guard? Very close. Yes, slips it by the guard now for the second half. Can he make the double? And makes the... Well, he hits it. He doesn't quite make the double. That leaves that red in the back of the house. Remove the back yellow from the house in any case. It was going to be very hard to avoid doing that. But yellow now counting 1. A rock that's not trivial to get at all. Jill Owen's in very good shape to win this game. So as I was saying, yeah, Jill Owens' team in very good shape to win this game, but this is a point steal, and they are going to try to set up a steal still, win another end. And they do have a center guard they can use. So this draw coming in from Jill, going to try to be a counter, and if it can be buried, all the better. This is looking pretty good. Not sure if it'll stick to count. Can it get around the guard? Will be open for very nice weight. Will be open for Brian to potentially hit and get his 2 here. If he can hit and stick. Looks like Brian's giving himself a little ice. Play controller softer hit. Stick around, get 2, and give himself at least some chance coming into the final end. All right, final rock of the end away. Sweepers are on it right away. It looks a little narrow, possibly light. It is on the guard. Brian shaking his head. He's disappointed with this, unfortunately. And oh no, it even accidentally taps in a second red rock to give Jill a steal of 2. Just an unfortunate miss, and the second point, just bad luck. But the Owens family will take it, as that gives them another point. And for a point steal, every point might matter. They are now up 9-2 after 7 ends. And we're going to take, with all 3 games, the outcome's probably decided. Going to take the scoreboard down and switch you guys to the larger view of the near houses. So that we can see what's going on in each of the 3 games as they come to the conclusion. The Zakin game is in the 7th end, I should say. They are still looking down there, but we'll watch the game on A as it is nearing its conclusion. So A now on your left there. Bill Walsh looking for a way to score some points here. Would need 4 to tie. That seems be unlikely at this point. Every point does matter in a point spiel.
Last time we played this tournament, Nigel played.
He does have one in the house.
Nigel broke his ankle
On the ice?
he still won.
Huh.
Here, carry. Oh, gets the peel, doesn't quite make the double peel, which I think is what they were going for there, to try to open things up. All right, Kevin Caldwell on C makes a nice hit and rolls out. Joel Owens' team up 9-2 out there. Obviously safe for the win. Still looking at points in terms of getting to the finals of this points field. 10 teams in total, only 2 teams will make the final. Every point matters for a lot of these teams. Can't be sure, but Team Zakin looks pretty good right now, given that they have won the first 6 ends and have 11 points.
Boom.
And actually looks like Team Zakin just stole one in the 7th as well, so they'll now have a 12-0 lead. 12 points and 7 ends will almost certainly give them enough to make the final, regardless of what happens in their final end. Although you never know, because there are still 2 games to be played at 2 o'clock, and if both of those were also one-sided, the 2 winners from those games could go to the final still. But it would take a lot to surpass the Zakin family.
That's in that bucket area. What's in it?
All 3 games now in the 8th end. You can see the skips are all down at the far end. B will probably be the last game to end, almost certainly, really. A should finish up first, a few rocks ahead of C. And we'll be sure to focus on each of those games as they get their final rocks thrown in here in the 8th end. I think all these games are decided in terms of a winner, but the points do matter. And with the results on A and C fairly close, still an open question as to who will be in 2nd place coming out of the first draw. So here's the house on A. This will be our first game to conclude. Red right now sitting 2 as we head to skip rocks. Alf on the button, Winter. Looking to add to his score right now. Sitting in 3rd place, but just 2 points behind the Owens family, with Jill Owens in control here on sheet C. If Alf can win his final end here, and especially if Brian Walker wins the 8th end on C, that could flip who's in 2nd place. And certainly the team that finishes 2nd in this draw will have a chance. They both have scored pretty well.
Hello. Who are you?
Alfie throws a third one in there to sit 3. Really looking to try and make up some ground here on the final end and put himself in possible position to make the final.
So there's big money in there. So there's gambling on the ends. There's also going to be gambling later. There's poker, and whoever ends the day with the most big money wins a prize. And lunch is here, so feel free to eat whatever you want. I imagine you're in the 2 o'clock draw, right? Yes. Be sure to get yourself some supplements. I'm Tony. Where are you from?
I'm from Cape Cod, but
Oh, so you're the Southern Owl. You need a nickname. That's your nickname.
Southern Owl.
Southern Owl. Yes, so there's the draw board. Figure out what sheet you're on.
All right, so Team Walsh did manage to sit second on Bill's first shot here. And
Yeah, right?
while normally you wouldn't be too worried here, Alpha's still looking at this. How can he score points here? How can he maybe try to get rid of that rock and potentially score a big end, even though he doesn't have hammer? Yeah, and he's in a tight contest here for second place right now with the Jill Owens team on C. So they're looking at things they might not normally play, just in the hopes of possibly surpassing them to get second place. On the other hand, Jill Owens does not really have many scoring opportunities on C. If I go back to the full full screen there, you can see on the right side is our sheet C house, and very wide open. We're heading into skip rocks there, and Brian Walker actually has a pretty good chance to score 1 with the wide open house. But anything can happen depending on what's made and missed, of course. We'll see over here on C as Alf tries to make a double here. Actually costs himself a rock. Actually costs himself a rock, now sitting just 1. Likely still to steal the end. So what it comes down to here is if Bill can make a shot and score. Bill makes a shot and scores here.
But the 2 finalists could come out of the first draw. It's not like one has to come out of each draw, right?
Is there a tiebreaker for if teams are tied at the same score?
It's a very, we haven't had it happen, so we don't really have a plan.
Usually helps. You usually want to come up with a plan before something happens, not after. But okay, because you know there's a reasonable chance of that happening in this job. It doesn't mean those teams will finish in second, but yeah, you could.
Big scores out there.
All right, final rock on sheet A. We'll watch this one come into the house here on the left side of your screen. Bill Walsh looking to get full 4 foot to count. Super's following it in. Looks like it's going to be on a red rock. And won't move anything around, so it will be 1 red. make the final score 8-3 in favor of the Winter family. That means the Winter family has 8 points for their score. 6 ends will make them 14, a total of 19 points with their 5-point bonus for winning. Now, where this gets interesting is that so far, the Owens rink has 5 ends won and 9 points, which would also give them 19 points. Right now, those teams are at the moment tied. If Jill Owens wins the 8th end, she will jump into second place in the point spiel. Should Jill end up losing this end if Brian Walker's team wins here with the hammer, or if it's a blank, which is actually still possible right now, with nothing in the house at the moment over there on sheet C, then Jill would remain tied. The Owens family would remain tied with the Winter family for second place, potentially requiring a tiebreaker if they should end up tied for second place overall, to see who would go to the final. Right now, it does not seem clear what the tiebreaker is. This is an in-house spiel, not too serious. Not really a problem that we haven't decided what the tiebreaker is yet, but right now there's not a plan. We'll see what happens. So Jill is sitting 1. This is actually a very big shot on sheet C here. I wouldn't say that in any other situation, but for the spiel here, it does matter.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Brian Walker has really an open hit here right on the center line for 1. And it all comes down to this. So if he makes the hit, we have a tie for second. Brian's team sweeping hard. They should nose this and get 1. That'll be a score of 1 in the final end for Team Walker. So, makes the final score 9-3 on sheet C. In terms of the point spiel, that means that leaves both the Winter family and the Owens family with 19 points. And we'll be sitting in second place heading into the second draw, although there'll be 4 teams looking to surpass that score if they want to make the final. Meanwhile, Team Zakin looking to add to their total. Not guaranteed to do so here. Let's move on to now that they're the only game, we'll move back to the featured view for sheet B. As you can see the house there right now. The Lucas family sitting 1. Mark Zakin ready to throw his first skip rock here.
Yeah, Bobby said we're going to see that this year. So it's more about the field and our opinion and our comfort level rather than the number. We're not going to be a slave to the numbers necessarily. And it's pretty high out there right now too. You wouldn't know it. I told you that it was 25 out there right now. You wouldn't think it. So I think it's the new normal. I keep using that phrase. I use it at work all the time. But the next normal is that with the new air stuff. That's what this is. So no, right now there's no greasy, but it's not. But it's not the number.
What's the number?
It was high. It was something like 25. So
25 used to be our break.
yeah, but now now it's not even, because 25 was like,
Yeah.
now you go out there, there's no humidity out there at all.
Right, that must make the difference.
Yeah, so it's not, you know,
Yeah.
so I don't know if it's the air moving around or, I don't think I know yet.
Oh, they can actually narrow on the hit, runs in the Red Rocks. So Red's sitting, now suddenly sitting 4.
Champion.
Oh yeah, wow, we just picked up our 2020 championship pins for the competitive league. Thank you, Larry. Larry McCary coming back out for the second draw. I've heard a rumor against us.
Voices, I know. Like,
How do you count?
yeah. All you had.
The scoring system today, 1 point for end, 1 point per rock scored, 5 for the win. So,
Oh, 5 for the win.
yeah, that's actually not that important because the teams that win are going to be ahead in the standings anyway. But yeah, 5 for the win.
Not counting ends.
No, 1 point per end.
Oh,
I said 1 point per end, 1 point per rock scored. Yeah. But since we're only looking for first and second, you know, it's basically, yeah, ends plus rocks is really going to be what decides it. The winners are going to be the top seeds anyway, so yeah. You said Team Zakin here in very good shape to make the final, having scored 12 points and won 7 ends. They could very easily not be winning the.
ourselves to win, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have some gambling in the second draw. Clearly, again, for any regulars listening, not actual gambling. We have fake money here. If you'd like to bet on sports, you can head to Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun right now, and as of October 19th, you'll be able to do it on your phone as well. Won't be able to get bet on curling here at Nutmeg, although probably they will have both DraftKings and FanDuel had a wide range of Summer Olympic betting, so chances are they'll have curling betting for the Winter Olympics. Just something to look forward to if you're curling fans out there in Connecticut. All right, 1 rock left for each team here. Team Zakin going to look to hit and stick and count and see if they can't get their point here in this point spiel. Honestly, probably won't matter too much for their chances of making the finals, but they don't know that. They don't know what will happen in the late draw. So they're going to try. Up 12 now.
Oh, Yellowstone.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't know what the situation will be in the second draw. 2 more games to play, so they're going to try to solidify their spot in the final.
Oh, yeah, we haven't done it for the ice. I don't know what happened. Got caught up. But if you want
Do you think she's out getting her?
Last shot from Skip Mark Zakin. Mark the mouthpiece Zakin.
Yes. Next one Thursday. Wait, Monday.
Looking to play something here that maybe just taps this red back a little, but counts. This might be light. Just may not get there at all. So that'll be it for Team Zakin in terms of scoring, presumably, unless we get an accidental rock knocked in here. Red sitting 4. Has a chance to draw for 5. So a good ending for Team Lucas here. Nigel here throwing on the stick. He might have injured himself slightly early in the game. Throwing on the stick for the final rock. Actually throws it away as not to cause any trouble. He'll take his 4 and live with it. That'll make the final 12-4. The Zakin family winning. To wrap up our coverage of the first draw here, that'll leave Team Zakin with 24 points. In excellent shape to make the final later at 4:30 today. Team Winter won 8-3 and scored a total of 21 points. No, sorry, 19 points. 8 points and 6 ends plus 5 for the victory. And Team Owens, the Owens family, beat the Walker family 9-3, winning 5 ends. So they also have 19 points. So right now a tie for second between Owens and Winter, and that'll be the target for anyone in the second draw who wants to make the final. All right, we'll be back at 2 o'clock with more coverage. Thanks for watching. La Curla Nostra from the Nutmeg Curling Club, our in-house bonspiel to kick off the year. See you soon.